The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to install an APK into an Android emulator that's been controlled by or run by the Visual Android Studio system. Normally I would use the Tools menu and select the AVD Manager, Android Virtual Device Manager. However, if that menu doesn't show up, I've found in the past that selecting this button here that indicates also a way to open the AVD Manager helps. In the AVD Manager, you need to make sure that you've downloaded the virtual disks, or the disks that contain the operating system that we're running. I've already installed the accelerated Android x86 Oreo, and that provides quite a quick way to run emulated virtual devices, Android virtual devices on your machine. I've actually loaded this earlier because it takes a minute or two. So the question is, how do I install, compile, and install, or build and install an app in here? So it's actually, and then test it test the accelerometer. It's going to be very similar to the process that was used previously. Once you've got in Unity, once you've got your your test APK or your APK, you can just drag and drop it into the emulator, and it will automatically install that as an app on the emulated device or the virtual device, because I think generally these are actually virtual machines. And from there, we should be able to test it. I'm going to be a bit cautious. I'm going to drag this one out. I would search instead of install. Right, anyway, got my app running it. Okay, so how do I test the accelerometer in this situation? Well, the emulator has quite a bit more in it than BlueStacks, although in BlueStacks you can do some of this as well. The really interesting thing here is that it has a set of virtual sensors, and here we can do things like accelerometer and other sensors as well, temperature, proximity. We can also do things like location and so on. So I can test the moving of this, the shaking of this, and as I move it, it then shows values from the accelerometer, which is rather cool. At the moment, I'm not meeting my threshold in my code for that, for making any changes. Let me try moving it backwards and forwards. It's not really going fast. There we go. Move. So there is the example. That is an example of how to test an app in the Android emulator using the extended controls, the virtual sensors supplied through the Android Virtual Device Manager.